Welcome to My Creative Corner 3, a podcast about quilting, creativity, crafting, and life in my northern town. Come back weekly and we'll chat about all the things that I'm working on. My name is Vicki Holloway, and welcome to the podcast. March 28th is here. This week on the podcast, we're going to talk about the things I've been working on, things that I'm loving right now, and some exciting new projects that I'll be working on in the future, as well as, are you ready for a challenge? But this week, I would love to welcome my new sponsor, which is Delphine's Quilt Shop at delphinesquiltshop.com. They have a brick and mortar store right in my neighborhood on the 45th parallel. Delphine's Quilt Shop is a destination quilt shop. They are piecing the past and the present into the heirlooms of tomorrow. You're going to love the people, you're going to love the selection, and most of all, you're going to love the convenience of being able to shop online whenever you have the internet turned on. This week I want to share that I have got a couple of mini quilts done. I've declared this year as the year of the mini. And I started out with the Step Into Your Art Challenge. And Sandy at the Quilts Cabana, she has a Step Into Your Art Facebook group. And I did the Improv Challenge. The series that I've been just really delving into is about connection and color and light. And this month I did an improv square that is exploded out with two little bars on two sides of the square in improv orange, yellow, and some solid color, some prints. And I really like the white negative space in it. And I really was working on trying to just shatter the notion that modern quilting has to have straight lines. It is full of little swirls with flower-like petals echoed around, or you could call them mini feathers. There's pebbling, there's swirls, there's curls, there's geometric shapes, there's ribbon candy, and all kinds of different free motion quilting shapes on it. I really, really enjoy working on that. Now I need to work on trying to face the quilt. That particular piece is about 14 or 16 inches. I'm going to trim it down, probably closer to 14, and square it up and try to get a good flat facing on it. The batting in this is a wool polyester blend, one layer, and it really shows that stitching nicely. The next quilt that I finished, I believe, has not been picked for the call for entries for curated quilts, so I'm going to share it. That ended a few days ago, and people are most likely are shipping their quilts out. The color palette was chosen by Curated Quilts. The theme was Well Said, and it's got pinks, oranges, lime, teal, and white. There are a couple other colors you could have added. I did 2 layers of batting in this. It's an improvisationally pieced mini quilt. This is about 12 or 14 inches. There's a horizon line, and there's little sun streaks coming through, little sun rising over that horizon. I thought that this color palette reminded me of the old Eagles song, Tequila Sunrise. And then I did little stacks, little mini strips throughout the land. It's supposed to be beyond, the horizon as it gets closer to you. And it's supposed to represent the streams and streaks of light. The Well Said is supposed to focus on words. And in the song, I chose to play on words, a peaceful, easy feeling. And I did do a facing on this, and I'm not 100% happy with it. This is kind of the problem that I had. The edge, even though it's been squared up, it distorts on me. I must be pulling it too hard, or maybe it's 2 layers of fabric. I don't know, but I did turn to my friends. I went to Quilt Group. I know, are you taking a deep gasp? I did go to Quilt Group. Quilting is individual, an individual endeavor. I do a lot of designing and quilting on my own, and I get distracted when people are there. But we have a group of friends in the winter months, and they take the summer off because everyone's traveling. And they meet monthly and do a show and tell, and sometimes they do challenges. But I asked them about facing a quilt, and I'm hoping to get some good tutorials and information from them. I also got some great advice on my hexagons because I wasn't matching the thread to the hexie. I was using a very thin thread that's in a white, and against navy blue you can see it a little bit. But also the two people that attend group are expert at doing hexagons, and they told me I was taking too many stitches, that it wasn't needed. So I'm going to try to back off on my microscopic 100 stitches per inch because I was so afraid it was going to fall apart. But overall, I got some great advice. We had a great time, and I want to encourage you that if you have the opportunity to meet with a group of people or join a guild or a modern quilt guild, do it. It really is a good thing. And even if you miss for a few months, the camaraderie of other quilters is just wonderful. So I've been working on the quilting. That leads me to my challenge. Are you ready for a challenge? I'm doing a 30-day challenge, 15-minute a day quilting challenge. Not piecing, not putting tops together, not designing. I'm spending my quilting time in April free motion quilting. I have a long arm, but the 15 minutes a day could also include hand quilting, walking foot quilting, domestic machine free motion quilting, whatever you want to do. You know, if you're just starting out, you might want to take the whole 30 days and learn how to swirl. No judgment. Don't rip it out. I'm going to talk about it a lot on my Facebook group, which is My Creative Corner 3. Do a little post every day. Maybe talk a bit about what I've been working on and how far I got in 15 minutes. And I'm a firm believer that what you do every day adds up to more than what you do once in a while. That's a quote from Gretchen Rubin in The Happiness Project, and it has stuck with me all these years. I think this is the 10th anniversary of that book. The thing is, if you are like me, I spent the winter doing swirls and stipples. I did get some customer quilts done, and I'm feeling great about that, but I'm ready to branch out. I want to do a custom quilt job on a couple of my quilt tops. But I don't feel like I can do it right now because I'm out of practice. If you don't practice a few shapes every once in a while and keep going multiple days a week, it's much like musical instruments and learning any other motor skill. I'm rusty and I want to knock off the rust. So join me. There's no prizes and there's no way to sign up for it. Just join the group and chat. If you're not a group joiner on Facebook, you can sign up for my newsletter. I'm probably going to do a mid-month progress note about it, and then I'm hoping to end the month with a YouTube video showing some of the things I was able to get done in 15 minutes a day. I'm hoping that I shock myself at how much I get accomplished in just a few minutes every day. So what am I loving right now? Well, I keep talking about makeup because I keep playing around with it. And I have found a mascara that doesn't make my very sensitive eyes itch and water and look terrible. So what's the point of wearing mascara? I haven't worn mascara in a decade for many reasons. Most of it's allergies. The other reason is my eyelashes all fell out when I had my thyroid surgery. And it's taken years for the little tiny eyelashes to come back in. But I have found a mascara that makes me look like I have eyelashes. And I'm thoroughly impressed. It is by Unique. It is the Mood Struck Epic Waterproof Mascara. I'm loving this so much. I signed up for a subscription to have it auto shipped to my house every 6 weeks. I think you can even choose how often you want it shipped. So it was worth the money. I think it's $24 for shipping, handling, and the mascara on the subscription. I love it. Plus, you get the little samples inside. That they've sent me blush a couple times, and I'm really loving it because I don't have to buy a blush because those samples are lasting forever, and it's given me opportunities to try other things out. So I'm loving Unique's mascara. The other thing I'm totally loving right now is essential oil that smells like orange. And it probably is orange because it's an essential oil. But I got mine from Grove Collaborative, and I use it on my dryer balls, but I also found if I dab a tiny bit on the edge of my wool pressing mat, it doesn't smell as horrible. And I love this orange. It's just the citrus is an energizing, fresh, wonderful smell that helps counteract the smell of burnt wool in my creative space. Oh yes, it still smells after 10 months. There are other mats that I don't think smell as much, and I've been doing research and I see that there are alpaca mats on the market. I might check into that too. What else am I loving right now? I am loving my yarn. I'm loving it. I've done the Harry Potter scarf. I am beyond the halfway point. So this is a loving it and a progress report on where I'm at. I'm beyond the halfway point. 7 gold stripe sets is halfway, and I'm beyond the halfway point. I like this. I did use acrylic an acrylic yarn because I'm going to use this in snow blowing and it'll be warm. It is a single rib. It is a pattern from Charmed Knits, which is out of print right now, but I got it from the library, and it's burgundy and gold, and it's wide because it's a third and fourth year scarf from the Harry Potter movies. You can be very creative with how you want to wear it. And it's thick enough that it'll keep me warm, but the tube style that I made for my dad was way too thick for me. And I just love this because there's no jog in that yellow stripe. That's just so hard to get done and not have that jog visible. So the exciting things, oh my gosh, I've got so many new and exciting things. I have a couple of yarn kits and plans that I want to work on in the future. And I'm such a slow knitter and crocheter that it might be a while. But I like to knit and crochet, believe it or not, in the summer, because sometimes quilting gets hot, and especially if you're binding and you're wrestling a queen size batting and backing onto a frame. But something else that I'm really loving, and I haven't even 100% got it figured out, is I bought a Cricut maker. I know, I bought something and I tried not to feel guilty about it, but I'm feeling fabulous about purchasing this. I worked hard to save the money, and it's something my husband I think can use too, because it will cut leather, it will cut layers of fabric and paper and wood, and it's got some cute little projects on the design studio that are finger puppets and felt, and you can cut wool. I'm excited because I think that people don't understand how hard cutting is with arthritic fingers. I really, really do have problems with a lot of cutting with a rotary cutter and scissors. So this Cricut, I'm hoping I can cut out hexagon templates. I can help alleviate a lot of cutting of shapes of blocks. I think I can design some EPP blocks and cut out the templates. I think I can recycle cardstock still and have it cut up by the Cricut maker. We want to try cutting leather, and my husband wants to make a couple of things. One is a sporran, which is the bag that was worn on a belt when you wear a kilt, and he thinks that that is something that he can do on the Cricut maker. So we're learning all about the design studio. I've got a design studio kind of figured out because I used a Cricut last summer, and I'm just so excited. I want to upcycle all kinds of things around my house that are super dated, and I didn't throw them away because I thought, like, the little square mirrors. Do you remember when they were popular? This one even has water damage in the back because it was moved so many times, but I thought it would be so much fun to put a vinyl sticker on it to give it a contemporary look. Maybe even chalk kind of stickers or something I can write on. I don't know. So there's so many wonderful, wonderful things you can do with it. I am very excited. I think my sister and I, for our creative souls, are going to be using some of the Cricut things in our upcycling. And we had to take a break on doing the zine because my computer It's just not doing well. And I'm going to have to get a new one at some point. But the good news is in all of this that we are still creating and we are doing projects together. And I think the Cricut will make it even more fun. We're still blogging on our creativesouls.wordpress.com, and you can see all our free tutorials and entries. And we're just having a great time. So I'm looking forward to that. The other thing the Cricut will do is cut paper, and I want to make some paper flowers. I loved making that last Christmas, and I have some circular bases I want to fill with paper flowers, but cutting them out is really hard for me. And so I know you can cut out paper flowers from the design studio, and I want to do succulents, and I'm thinking of maybe jazzing up my jadeite window with plants, and some of them being the paper flowers and succulents that I might be able to do on the Cricut. I got lots of ideas. So all of that leads me to, when you have so many ideas, I find myself doing a lot of research on it and finding myself down these rabbit holes of research on the internet. Does this ever happen to you? I mean, I got so into it last weekend of researching projects for the Cricut and on Pinterest and how to load it and to do things, even though it only got here yesterday. I got all into trying to figure out what was the best way to host my blog, and I want to do some videos, and oh my goodness, trying to do all the technical research on all that. My entire weekend was spent doing internet research and not a lot of creating. When did I do those mini quilts? Well, I did a little bit over the weekend, but it was mostly research. That was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week on the improv quilt. And I finished up the curated quilt one, just facing it over the weekend. I quilted it last week. I was just amazed at how much time I wasted on this research. Now, research is good, but not for 2 days straight. 2 days straight. Can you imagine? Have you done that? Maybe I just needed a break. But it also got me excited about things and planning these projects that I want to do in the future. So what do you do with all of that creative energy? Because now I feel like I'm getting back into this flow state of ideas. Well, I need to write them down, put them in my planner, and that was from last week too, wasn't it? Put it in the planner. And I've been talking with my sister and with other quilting friends about things and bouncing ideas off of other people to feel out, is this possible, or is it even something I should do? Can I do it? You know, like Cricut projects. And as far as the internet, all of the like hosting of the websites and just all of that, it gets, because I don't know what all of that means, like on hosting your website and all of design and stuff. That's not my thing. So that's just where I was like, you know what, I need to get back into this whole thing of doing something for 15 minutes a day. Are you ready for a challenge? I'm doing one in April. Things I've talked about today, what you think about blogs and web spaces. I would love to hear about that too. I'm open to all of it. And I just want to really try to rein in some of this energy of this Cricut. I'm going to try to do a first cut on it tonight, but I'm trying not to do too much and savor the moments and enjoy the learning, and know that I've pinned a lot of ideas on Pinterest. I've written a lot of things down, and I'm not going to forget. So join me for the challenge, and if you have a Cricut, let me know. Are you enjoying it? Are you loving it? Because I think I'm going to love it. If you're enjoying the podcast, my blog, tutorials, buy me a cuppa, a virtual cuppa. You can go on mycreativecorner3.wordpress.com. You'll see a link to my store. You'll see the show notes. I sell a shop on Etsy that has My Creative Corner 3 and Our Creative Souls coffee cups and tote bag for the podcast. And I have a couple of patterns up, and you will see in the store that it will say a one-time donation. And you can purchase me a McDonald's coffee, about $1. Each unit on there is $1, or you can upgrade it to $5 for a Starbucks coffee, or however amount of money you would enjoy spending for this virtual cuppa. It all goes to production of the podcast, and I really appreciate your support. I do have a patron site, and that is also linked on the blog. I really, really have to say I am very appreciative of the patron I have, who has been very faithful. And if you donated $100, even as a one-time deal on the virtual cuppa, or if you're a $100 patron, I would make a mini for you. Just think about that. Would you like a mini? You and I could talk. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful week. And spring, it brings so much happiness and joy to not only my life, but to my energy as well as creativity. Quilt on, everyone.